I never thought I'd catch my wife plotting to use our adopted daughter as leverage in a divorce. But when my phone buzzed with that anonymous message as we drove home from the award ceremony, I had no idea just how deep her betrayal went. Now I've got 48 hours to gather evidence before she puts her plan in motion, and Naomi's future hangs in the balance. My name is Jay Klein. I'm 46 and own Klein's Classic Cuts, a chain of premium barbershops across Boston. 10 years grinding, building my business from one chair in a rented space to 3 successful locations. Hard work paid off, but success in business doesn't guarantee success at home. Monica and I tried for kids for years. When the doctors finally said it wasn't happening, I accepted it like a man. Head on, no complaints. Monica seemed relieved, actually. She'd always been career-focused as a corporate accountant. Her designer shoes and corner office more important than family dinners. Then last year, she blindsided me. "Let's adopt," she said one night. After 15 years of children don't fit our lifestyle, her change of heart should have raised red flags. Instead, I saw opportunity. A chance at the family I'd always wanted. 4 months ago, we brought home Naomi, a quiet 7-year-old with trust issues and nightmares. The system had chewed her up, 3 foster homes in 2 years after her mother's overdose. I promised myself I'd give this kid stability. Built her furniture with my own hands, learned to braid hair from YouTube videos, schedule my clients around her school hours. Meanwhile, Monica was working late more often than not. Last Friday changed everything. My wife and I were heading home from the annual Barbers Association award ceremony when I unexpectedly received a message on my phone that knocked the wind out of me. "You should know your wife is sleeping with Kyle Harrison. Been going on over a year. Check her texts." Sorry, man. Kyle Harrison, Monica's high school boyfriend. The one who got away. He'd moved back to Boston last year after his divorce. I glanced at Monica in the passenger seat, typing away on her phone, angled carefully away from me. A small smile played on her lips. "Everything okay?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She startled, immediately locking her screen. "Just work stuff." The lie rolled off her tongue too smoothly. I tightened my grip on the wheel, jaw clenched. This wasn't just about us anymore. There was Naomi to consider. As we pulled into our driveway, I made my decision. I wouldn't confront Monica without evidence. 20 years running my own business taught me to verify before acting. But one thing was crystal clear. If Monica was cheating, if this adoption was just a ploy, she wasn't taking Naomi. That little girl had been abandoned enough. I parked the car and took a deep breath. Time to be strategic. Time to be the man Naomi needed. The babysitter, a college student named Emma, greeted us at the door with a whispered, "She's been asleep for about an hour." I handed Emma her payment plus a generous tip. Monica frowned at this, but said nothing. Once Emma left, Monica kicked off her heels and headed straight for the liquor cabinet. "Want one?" she asked, pouring herself a generous scotch. My scotch, the 18-year Macallan I saved for special occasions. "I'm good." I needed a clear head. "I'll check on Naomi." I crept into the little girl's room, watching her chest rise and fall beneath her unicorn comforter. For months, and already I couldn't imagine my life without her. I tucked her stuffed rabbit closer to her side and quietly closed the door. In our bedroom, Monica was already in the shower. Her phone sat on the nightstand, face down. This was my chance. I picked it up. Locked, of course. 6 months ago, I wouldn't have known her passcode. But I'd seen her enter it while helping Naomi with a game app 2-9-5-3. KYLE on a telephone keypad. Jesus Christ. The phone unlocked, and I went straight to her messages. A thread with Karen work caught my eye. Monica didn't know any Karen. I tapped it open and felt my stomach drop. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing. When can you get away again? Does he suspect anything?" Dozens of messages, going back months. Photos I couldn't bring myself to look at. Plans to meet at hotels. And worse, discussions about her exit strategy. Once the adoption is final, I'll file for divorce. No judge will separate a child from her mother. We'll get half of everything. The house, his business, retirement accounts. The kid is just leverage. We can put her back in the system once everything's settled. My hands shook with rage. I took screenshots, sending them to my own phone. Then I found something that turned my blood to ice. A consultation with a divorce attorney scheduled for next week. The shower stopped. I quickly replaced the phone, positioning it exactly as she'd left it. When Monica emerged wrapped in a towel, I was sitting on the bed, pretending to check work emails. "Naomi still asleep?" she asked casually. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. "I'm exhausted," Monica yawned. "Big day tomorrow with the Johnson account." Another lie. Tomorrow is Saturday. "I'm going to crash," I said, heading to the guest room. "Got an early appointment." Monica didn't even question it, probably relieved. In the guest room, I pulled out my phone and dialed the number that had texted me. It rang 3 times before a woman's voice answered. "Hello. This is Jay Klein," I said quietly. "I need to know who I'm talking to." A pause. "My name is Heather Harrison, Kyle's wife." Her voice was steady but hollow. "I think we need to talk." "Yes," I agreed, thinking of Naomi sleeping peacefully down the hall. "We do." I set up a meeting for tomorrow. Then I called my lawyer's emergency line. This wasn't just about catching my wife in a lie anymore. This was about protecting an innocent child from becoming collateral damage. Downtown Boston was quiet on Saturday morning. I'd left before Monica woke, telling the babysitter I had emergency appointments at the barber shop. Another lie to add to the growing pile between us. I spotted Heather immediately when I entered the coffee shop. Mid-30s, professionally dressed despite the weekend, her wedding ring conspicuously absent. She'd chosen a corner table away from windows. "Thanks for meeting me," she said as I sat down. I studied her, searching for any sign of deception. "How long have you known?" 6 months. She pushed a folder across the table. Credit card statements, hotel charges, text messages I managed to recover. The evidence was damning. Kyle and Monica's affair had started before we'd even begun the adoption process. I clenched my jaw, remembering Monica's sudden enthusiasm about bringing Naomi home. "There's more," Heather said quietly. "Kyle's business is failing. He's been borrowing money from friends, maxing out credit cards. Your wife doesn't know." I raised an eyebrow. "How do you know that?" "I'm the CFO of a healthcare company. I know how to follow money." She leaned forward. "Kyle sees your wife as his ticket out. Your barbershop chain, your investments. And Naomi is just leverage." I finished, disgust rising in my throat. Heather nodded grimly. "From what I've gathered, once the divorce is finalized and assets divided, Monica plans to claim Naomi is too much to handle alone. She'll surrender her parental rights." White-hot anger surged through me. Using a vulnerable child who'd already lost everything once, as a pawn in their sick game. "What do you want from me?" I asked, voice steady despite my rage. "An alliance." Heather's eyes were hard. "I want my house, my savings, and my dignity. You want your business and your daughter. Together, we have enough evidence to ensure they get nothing." "Naomi," I corrected automatically. "Her name is Naomi." Something softened in Heather's expression. "Yes. Sorry." I drummed my fingers on the table, considering. "I need time to verify all this. And I need to protect Naomi from the fallout." "Of course." She slid me a business card. "My personal number is on the back. Kyle's taking Monica to Vermont next weekend. That would be an ideal time to secure any additional evidence you need from your home." I pocketed the card and stood. "I'll be in touch." Walking back to my car, I called my oldest friend, Mike, who happened to be a family court judge. I needed to understand my options. Because one thing was clear: Monica had chosen the wrong man to try to destroy, and the wrong child to use as a weapon. For the next week, I played the role of oblivious husband perfectly. I came home on time, asked about Monica's day, even suggested we take Naomi to the park on Sunday. Monica reluctantly agreed, spending most of the time on her phone while I pushed Naomi on the swings. "Hiya, Mr. J." Naomi called, her rare smile breaking through. She still wouldn't call me Dad. After what she'd been through, I understood. Meanwhile, I was methodically building my case. I installed security cameras in our living room and kitchen. For safety, I told Monica. I recorded our conversations about Naomi, capturing Monica's indifference. I documented every time she canceled plans with our daughter, every bedtime story she skipped. Friday night arrived. Monica packed an overnight bag, claiming a corporate retreat in Vermont. I kissed her goodbye, tasting the lie on her lips. Once she left, I took Naomi for ice cream, then tucked her in with extra bedtime stories. After she fell asleep, I got to work. First, I backed up Monica's computer. Then I photographed documents she'd hidden in her home office. Consultation notes from divorce attorneys, financial projections showing expected settlements, even a checklist titled Exit Strategy with sickening items like establish primary caregiver status and document J's long work hours. At midnight, I met with my lawyer, handing over everything I gathered. His eyebrows rose higher with each new piece of evidence. "This is unusually comprehensive," he said finally. "I protect what's mine," I replied simply. "What are Naomi's chances?" He leaned back, thinking. "Courts favor biological parents, but with Naomi being adopted, you're on equal footing. Given this evidence of Monica's intentions, plus your documentation of being the primary caregiver, I'd say strong, especially if Monica doesn't actually want custody." "She doesn't. She just wants leverage." "Then we need to remove that leverage." He tapped the folder. "Let me prepare the paperwork. When she returns Sunday, be ready." I nodded, a weight lifting from my shoulders. For the first time since receiving that text, I felt back in control. Saturday morning, I took Naomi to the barber shop. My employees adored her, letting her sweep up hair clippings and hand out lollipops to customers. Watching her laugh with my longtime barber, Tony, I knew with bone-deep certainty I'd fight to the death for this child. Monica had no idea who she was up against. I hadn't built 3 successful businesses by being weak or indecisive. And I wouldn't lose my daughter to a woman who saw her as nothing but a bargaining chip. Sunday evening arrived with storm clouds gathering, both literally in the darkening sky and figuratively in my household. Monica returned from her retreat, looking relaxed and refreshed, dropping her overnight bag in our bedroom. "How was your weekend with Naomi?" she asked, the question performative at best. "Enlightening," I replied, watching her carefully. She asked why you're always gone. Monica's shoulders stiffened before she forced a casual shrug. "Work has been demanding." "She understands." "Does she?" "She's 7, Monica, and she's been through enough abandonment." "Don't be dramatic, Jay. I'm not abandoning her." Monica busied herself unpacking, avoiding my eyes. "I have to build our financial future." Interesting choice of words. Our financial future. I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Or should I say yours and Kyle's? The hairbrush in her hand clattered to the dresser. For a split second, naked panic flashed across her face before her features rearranged into indignation. "What are you talking about?" Her voice was steady, but a pulse jumped in her throat. I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshots. "You've been sloppy, Monica. The hotels, the late nights, the secret texting. You went through my phone?" She attempted outrage, but fear was winning out. "After someone kindly informed me of your affair. Heather Harrison says hello, by the way." Monica paled, sinking onto the bed. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. "It's not what you think," she tried weakly. "Really? Because I think you're planning to divorce me, take half my business, and use Naomi as leverage before dumping her back in the system." I stepped closer. "Please, tell me how I misunderstood." Her expression hardened, the mask of contrition slipping away like water. "Fine. You want the truth." "Yes, I've been seeing Kyle." "Yes, I'm filing for divorce." "And Naomi? Was she ever anything but a pawn to you?" Monica looked away. "I never wanted kids, Jay. You know that. The adoption was your dream. That you exploited." I finished, disgust rising in my throat. "Don't act so high and mighty," she snapped. "It's business. I deserve half of everything we built." "We?" I laughed, the sound harsh even to my ears. "I built my barbershops while you were climbing your corporate ladder. And Naomi isn't a business asset to be divided. Any judge will give me primary custody," Monica said, confidence returning. "I'm her mother." I smiled then, the kind of smile that had made business competitors back down over the years. "That's where you're wrong. See, while you were with Kyle this weekend, I was gathering evidence. Your plans for Naomi, your extended absences, your consultation with divorce attorneys before we even adopted her." The color drained from her face. "You can't prove anything." I took out a manila envelope. "Actually, I can prove everything. My lawyer has copies. So does the adoption agency's ethics board." Monica lunged for the envelope. I caught her wrist, firm but careful. "Don't." My voice was quiet, controlled. "You've lost, Monica. Now we do this my way, or we let a judge decide. Trust me, you won't like what the court decides when they see evidence of adoption fraud." Monica sat at our kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of untouched coffee. Across from her, My lawyer Dan Morrison laid out documents with practiced precision. I stood by the window, watching Naomi play in the backyard with Emma, the babysitter, blissfully unaware of the adults destroying her world yet again. These are the terms, Dan said, sliding the papers toward Monica. Mr. Klein retains full custody of Naomi. You relinquish all parental rights. In exchange, he won't pursue charges of adoption fraud or report you to the state ethics board. Monica's lawyer, hastily called that morning, reviewed the documents, frowning. This is extremely one-sided. Mrs. Klein is entitled to. Mrs. Klein, Dan interrupted, conspired to use a vulnerable child as leverage for financial gain. I have documented evidence that would not only guarantee her client loses custody, but potentially faces criminal charges. These terms are generous. Monica's face was a storm of emotions. Rage, fear, calculation. And the financial settlement. You leave with what you brought in, I said from the window. Your separate accounts, your car, your personal items. That's robbery, she hissed. 15 years of marriage. 14 months of documented infidelity, Dan countered smoothly. Communications explicitly stating your intent to defraud both Mr. Klein and the adoption system. Her lawyer whispered urgently in her ear. Monica's shoulders slumped. And if I fight this? She asked, voice brittle. Then we go to court, I replied, finally turning to face her. Everything becomes public record. Your company learns what kind of person they've promoted to senior management. Kyle learns you were planning to take him for half his failing business too. That last part was a calculated risk based on Heather's information. Monica's flinch confirmed it. You've been talking to her, Monica accused. We compared notes, I acknowledged. Turns out neither of us appreciate being played. Her lawyer counseled her again in hushed tones. Financial calculations, reputation management, career implications. I watched resignation settle over her face. I want my IRA untouched, she said finally. And my stock portfolio. Fine. I'd expected as much. But you sign a non-disclosure agreement. And you tell Naomi you're leaving because of your job, not because of her. She's had enough rejection. Monica looked genuinely surprised. You let me say goodbye. She deserves closure, I said simply. Unlike you, I actually care about her well-being. An hour later, the papers were signed. Monica went upstairs to pack more of her things while I called Naomi in from the yard. She bounded in with grass-stained knees and flushed cheeks. Mr. J, I caught a grasshopper. I knelt to her level. That's great, kiddo. Listen, Monica, your mom, needs to talk to you. It's important. Naomi's smile dimmed. Is she mad at me? My heart cracked. No, sweetheart. Not at all. This isn't your fault. Okay? Never your fault. I held her small hand as we walked upstairs, preparing to help her through yet another loss. But this time, she wouldn't be left alone. This time, someone was staying. The day Monica moved out was sunny, almost mockingly bright. I took Naomi to the zoo, sparing her the sight of Monica packing her remaining belongings. When we returned, the house felt lighter somehow, as if a persistent shadow had lifted. Where's Monica? Naomi asked, clutching her new stuffed penguin from the gift shop. I knelt to her level. Remember our talk yesterday? About how Monica is moving to her own place. Naomi nodded solemnly. Because of her important job. The lie tasted bitter, but it was kinder than the truth. That's right. And remember what else I said? That it's not my fault, she recited, but her eyes held doubt. But Mr. J, what if she leaves because I'm bad? My first mom said I was too loud. My heart cracked clean in two. I pulled her into a gentle hug, careful not to spook her. Naomi, look at me. Your first mom was sick and couldn't take care of anyone, not even herself. And Monica has her own problems. But I promise you, I swear to you, it's not because you're bad. Her small fingers twisted the hem of her shirt. Are you going to leave too? Never. I made a vow. You and me, we're a team now. Forever. That night, after tucking her in, I called Heather. We kept in touch, sharing updates on our respective divorce proceedings. Kyle had apparently been blindsided when Monica revealed the plan had fallen apart. How's Naomi taking it? Heather asked. Better than expected, worse than she deserves. I sighed, pouring myself 2 fingers of bourbon. She's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Give her time. Consistency is key with trauma. Speaking from professional experience, I asked, remembering she'd mentioned a psychology degree. Personal, actually. My parents divorced when I was 6. Dad disappeared. Mom checked out emotionally. Her voice softened. Kids are resilient when they have at least one person they can count on. Something shifted in my chest. Recognition, maybe. Heather understood in a way Monica never had. Listen, I said impulsively. Naomi's school has this father-daughter picnic next Saturday. She's nervous about going because the other kids have moms too. I was thinking, would you want to join us? Just as a friend. The pause felt eternal. I'd like that, Heather finally said. But are you sure it's not too soon? For friendship? For adult conversation that isn't about divorce attorneys? For Naomi to see healthy interactions? I chuckled. Not too soon at all. After we hung up, I checked on Naomi one more time. She'd kicked off her covers as usual. I carefully tucked them back around her, studying her peaceful face. In just 4 months, she'd claimed a permanent place in my heart. Biology be damned. She was my daughter in every way that mattered. Tomorrow we'd redecorate her room, whatever colors and themes she wanted. No more tiptoeing around Monica's design preferences. Tomorrow would be the first day of our new life together. And for the first time in months, I was actually looking forward to it. Saturday morning brought perfect weather for the school picnic. Naomi emerged from her room wearing the new sundress we'd bought together, her hair messily braided by her own determined hands. "Did I do my hair good, Mr. J?" she asked, twirling to show me. "You did amazing, kiddo," I said, fighting the lump in my throat. "Want me to help tidy it a little?" She nodded, climbing onto a kitchen stool while I gently fixed her braid. Over the past week, I'd mastered YouTube tutorials on children's hairstyles, practicing late into the night. Monica had always handled this part. "Is your friend really coming?" Naomi asked as I secured the elastic. "Heather?" "Yes, she's meeting us there. Is that okay?" Naomi considered this seriously. "Is she nice?" "Very nice. And she's bringing her chocolate chip cookies, the ones with the secret ingredient." "What's the secret?" Her eyes widened. I leaned close, whispering, "We'll have to ask her." When we arrived at the school grounds, families were already setting up picnic blankets. Naomi's grip on my hand tightened as she noticed the mothers helping arrange food, fix hair ribbons, take pictures. "We can leave if you want," I offered quietly. She shook her head stubbornly. "I'm brave." "Yes, you are." I agreed, chest swelling with pride. "The bravest." We found a spot under a maple tree and spread our blanket. I was unpacking our lunch when I spotted Heather approaching, a container of cookies in one hand and a kite in the other. "I thought we might need entertainment," she explained, handing the kite to Naomi. "I used to fly these with my dad." Naomi examined it with wonder. "I never flied a kite before." "Never flown a kite," I corrected gently. "Well then," Heather said, kneeling to Naomi's level, "we should fix that right away, shouldn't we?" For the next hour, the three of us ran across the field, the kite soaring above us. Naomi's laughter, rare and precious, rang out each time the kite dipped and swooped. Other fathers nodded approvingly as they passed. A few mothers from Naomi's class stopped to chat, subtly assessing Heather. News of my separation had traveled fast. During lunch, Heather revealed the secret cookie ingredient, cinnamon and sea salt, making Naomi giggle with her dramatic whisper. They bonded over favorite colors: purple, animals, otters, and a shared dislike of green peppers. "Mr. J hates green peppers too," Naomi declared, as if discovering a cosmic connection. "Smart man." Heather winked at me over Naomi's head. Later, while Naomi joined a group of classmates for an organized game, Heather and I watched from our blanket. "She's wonderful, Jay," Heather said softly. "You're doing a great job." "I'm figuring it out as I go," I admitted, terrified of messing up. "That's actually how you know you're doing it right." She smiled. The bad parents never worry about being bad parents. As the afternoon sun began to fade, Naomi ran back to us, face flushed with excitement. "Can Heather come for dinner sometime? Please." I glanced at Heather, eyebrows raised in question. "I'd love to," she said, "if your dad agrees." "Dad," Naomi repeated, testing the word. Then, decisively, "Yeah, Dad." It was the first time she called me that. I blinked rapidly, clearing my throat. "Dinner sounds perfect." 6 months after Monica moved out, we faced our final day in family court. Although our divorce had been finalized with surprising efficiency, the formal adoption proceedings had required additional scrutiny given the unusual circumstances. Naomi sat between me and Heather in the hallway outside the courtroom, her legs swinging nervously, her new patent leather shoes clicking together. "What if the judge says no?" she whispered, eyes wide with fear. I squeezed her hand gently. "The judge won't say no. But even if something unexpected happens, I will never stop fighting for you. Got that?" She nodded, but her small shoulders remained tense. Heather caught my eye over Naomi's head and gave me a reassuring smile. Over the past months, she'd become a constant in our lives. Weekend outings, movie nights, science fair projects. Naomi adored her, and I was getting there myself. Our lawyer, Dan, approached with his briefcase. "They're ready for us." Inside the courtroom, Monica sat at the opposite table with her attorney. She'd contested nothing, but was required to appear. When she spotted Naomi, something like regret flickered across her face. The proceedings were mercifully brief. The judge reviewed the documentation, asked a few clarifying questions, then turned her attention to Naomi. "Young lady, I'd like to ask you something very important," she said kindly. "Do you understand what's happening today?" Naomi nodded solemnly. "Dad is adopting me for real. Just him, not Monica anymore." "That's right. And is that what you want?" Naomi looked at me, then back at the judge. "Yes, ma'am. Dad takes care of me. He learns how to do my hair and checks my homework and scares away the closet monsters. Even when he's tired from cutting hair all day." A chuckle rippled through the courtroom. The judge smiled. "Sounds like a good dad to me." After reviewing the final assessment from social services, the judge signed the official paperwork. "Congratulations, Mr. Klein. The court recognizes you as Naomi's legal and sole parent." Naomi launched herself into my arms, and I lifted her high, my vision blurring with unshed tears. "We did it, kiddo," I whispered into her hair. "Forever and always, just like I promised." Outside the courtroom, Monica approached hesitantly. "Jay, could I have a moment?" I set Naomi down. "Heather, could you take Naomi to get a snack?" Once they were out of earshot, Monica said, "You've done a good job with her. She looks happy." "She is happy," I confirmed, neither accepting nor rejecting the compliment. Monica nodded, awkward silence stretching between us. "I'm moving to Chicago next week. Kyle and it didn't work out. I've taken a position with a new firm." I felt nothing at this news. No satisfaction, no anger, just emptiness. "I wish you well, Monica. Would it be possible, maybe someday, to let me know how she's doing?" Her voice held genuine regret. "I considered this. Send me your contact information. I'll send updates occasionally if Naomi is comfortable with it." It wasn't forgiveness, but it was civilization. As Monica walked away, I watched the woman I'd once loved disappear around the corner, feeling nothing but relief that this chapter of our lives was finally closed. "Dad, we're going to be late." Naomi's voice echoed up the stairs as I adjusted my tie in the bedroom mirror. 8 years old now, and more confident every day, my daughter had come so far from the silent, frightened child I first brought home. "Coming, princess," I called back, grabbing the small velvet box from my dresser. Today marked exactly 1 year since the court had finalized my sole adoption of Naomi. We decided to celebrate with a special dinner at Giovanni's, her favorite Italian restaurant. But Naomi didn't know I had other plans as well. Downstairs, she was pacing by the door in her new purple dress, hair perfectly braided. She'd insisted on doing it herself. "Heather's already texting that she's at the restaurant. Heaven forbid we keep the ladies waiting," I teased, helping her with her coat. The drive to Giovanni's was filled with Naomi's chatter about her science project and the upcoming school play. I listened, still amazed sometimes that this vibrant child was mine. When we arrived, Heather was waiting at a corner table, looking beautiful in a simple black dress. "About time," she said with a wink, accepting Naomi's enthusiastic hug. Dinner was perfect, Naomi charming the waiters, Heather and I exchanging glances over our wine glasses, the comfortable rhythm we'd established as a trio. When dessert arrived, I nodded to the waiter, who brought out a special tiramisu with "Happy Family Day" written in chocolate sauce. "Family Day?" Naomi puzzled. "I thought it was Adoption Day." "Well," I began, suddenly nervous. "I was thinking maybe we could make our family a little more official." I pulled out the velvet box and slid it across the table to Heather, whose eyes widened in surprise. "Heather," I said, taking her hand, This past year with you has been incredible. You show me what real partnership looks like. You've loved Naomi like your own. Would you consider making this permanent? Heather opened the box with trembling fingers to reveal the emerald ring we'd picked out together last week. Naomi and I, conspiring during her lunch break. Say yes. Naomi bounced in her seat. Already practiced being a flower girl. Laughing through tears, Heather nodded. Yes. Absolutely yes. As I slipped the ring onto her finger, Naomi scrambled out of her chair to wrap arms around both of us. Does this mean I get to call you Mom now? She asked Heather. If you want to, Heather said softly. I'd be honored. I want to, Naomi declared with her characteristic certainty. Later that night, after tucking an exhausted but happy Naomi into bed, Heather and I stood in the hallway, her head on my shoulder. A year ago, I thought my life was over, I murmured against her hair. I never imagined it was just beginning. That's the thing about rebuilding, Heather replied, her new ring catching the light. Sometimes what you create is stronger than what fell apart. I looked at the family photos now lining our hallway. Naomi's school portrait, the three of us at the zoo, hiking, baking Christmas cookies. Photos of joy that erased none of the pain, but proved we had survived it. I love you, I said, the word still new enough to feel momentous. I love you too, she answered. Both of you.